What's up, YouTube? It's Kevin here, the Migraine Guy, bringing you a new video in a new series. This series is going to be about migraine funding. So by migraine funding, I'm specifically talking about two things. One, the amount of money that gets funneled into research, studies, double-blind studies, randomized studies, controlled studies, all of those aspects to help researchers, medical professionals come up with better medications, better preventative medications, better supplements, etc., better treatment plans for migraine sufferers. But I'm also talking about money invested in educating doctors and medical professionals that you will see in the course of your migraine career, right? So if there's great research out there showing that product X, Y, and Z or medication X, Y, and Z are the best thing to use for migraine, but the doctor you go see isn't aware of it because they didn't receive the training or don't keep up on the training related to migraine migraine diagnosing and treatment, then they're not going to know. And so you have to have both. And the lack of funding for both of those, the lack of commitment by educational institutions, governmental research funding, all of that is pretty disheartening. This video is not meant to be doom and gloom, but it's just meant to be a sober assessment of the current landscape, the current state of migraine research and migraine funding for research. So for example, in 2013, the National Institute of Health's amount of money that they put in to migraine research relative to the amount of migraine sufferers in America, which is about 36 million, came out to be on average about 50 cents per migraine sufferer, which basically means, right, that the government values you at about 50 cents per year in terms of what they're willing to contribute to help migraine sufferers. And so that's pretty disheartening. On top of it, when you look at the amount of doctors that are properly trained, that actually have qualifications for headache and migraine treatment, they number somewhere, depending on which certificates or certifications you're looking at, in the 500 range, about 500 medical professionals in that area. And as I just said, there's about 36 million migraine sufferers in America. And so that comes out to, I think it was about 76,000 patients per doctor. And so even if there is great research out there, if there's on average 76,000 patients waiting to actually get in to see a migraine or headache specialist, that's going to take a long time to get into, right? Whether or not they're even in your area, right? That's not saying that everyone has equal access, right? Some states or cities are going to have more, and some states or cities are going to have less. And so it could even be longer before you can get in than if you lived in maybe a bigger city or a city with a big medical university or something like that. And so just looking at some of this information is just depressing. And that's actually a nice transition, kind of a low point there, into an organization that I've been looking into quite a bit, because I want to make videos that are not just educational, but actually can do something for you, the viewer. And so if you haven't heard of this organization, I'm going to put lots of information in the video description below so you can kind of get a feel for them. But the organization is the Migraine Research Foundation, MRF for short. And the MRF does a ton, if not most, of the funding for some of the most interesting studies in the last few years about migraine and migraine-related issues. And so they get lots and lots of money, at least what seems like lots and lots of money, to help fund research. But when you actually look at global statistics about how much money even they are contributing, it's still a pretty low amount. Now, the Migraine Research Foundation is a 501c3 according to the tax code in the United States, so it's a nonprofit. They say that 100% of donations to them go to migraine research. Now, when I first read this, when I was first looking into them, I was skeptical. There are some charity assessment organizations out there, right? They will grade say like Oxfam or World Vision, they'll give them a certain rating, and the Migraine Research Foundation doesn't show up on those. And so I was initially a little skeptical whether or not they were going to be, really in it for migraine research or just trying to line their own pockets. So when you do some research on them, you're going to find a few things. One, I'm going to put a link to their 1099 forms. No, sorry, they're they're 990 forms, they're tax forms from I think 2011 to 2014 or 2012 to 2015. Because they have to make those publicly available as a 501c3. And you can see the money that comes in and the money that goes out to research. And so that alleviated a lot of my initial fears because I didn't want to, promote or donate to an organization that wasn't actually going to be helping migraine research. And you can just see the numbers. They get a lot of money in terms of hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and they make sure that it gets to researchers. Two, so not only do they seem to have the appropriate money in, money out paperwork that you'd want to see a charity offer, they also put lists of researchers on their website that they've partnered with in the past or are currently partnering with. And I contacted a number of them. I didn't hear back from all of them. I just assumed they're busy. But the ones I did hear back from had nothing but positive things to say, both about the competency of the people involved at the Migraine Research Foundation, but also just that the people there really are doing work and funding work to help migraine sufferers. And so not only are they reliable with the money, but they're doing it out of a sense of wanting to help others. Many of the people associated with this foundation are medical professionals themselves, MDs, etc. And so they want to help fund research that they can then incorporate into their own practice. And so that seems like maybe the best case scenario for the kind of organization you could fund or donate to. So that is the end of this video, but I really want you, the viewer, in this series I'm making to look into the Migraine Research Foundation. Check the links below. Follow them on, I think they're on Twitter, Facebook. I don't think they're on YouTube yet, which is, I think, part of the reason that I wanted to make these videos was to help YouTube understand, the YouTube migraine community understand that there are places that we can give money to that can have direct results in our own life through the research that we're funding. So try to look into them if you can. If you want to trust what I'm saying, that's fine too. I never want to put out a video where I'm not saying something I don't believe in, and I really do think that the Migraine Research Foundation is a great organization. The next couple of videos I'm going to be talking about are going to involve research that they have funded, results of it that have impacted kind of medical practice as relates to migraine, some things that they're hoping to fund in the future, as well as some other issues. Not issues, I guess, other topics about the foundation. So this is a great organization. As a 501c3, if you do donate to them, it is tax deductible, which is great also. So make sure you read about them and follow this video series to keep updated on them, and I'll talk to you later, YouTube.